Hi everybody, it's MJ here, and I'm here to share with you the StrongTek Wood Slant Board. There are many benefits to regularly using a slant board in your everyday routine, some of which I like, which are it's going to help improve your muscle responsiveness during exercise. It's also going to help reduce your risk of injury by making you flexible and stronger. And it's also going to help nurse or aid recovery in any pre-existing injuries that you might have in your Achilles tendon, your shins, your calves, your foot, or your ankle. Now, the StrongTek Wood Slant Board is a pro size. This is professional, and it's got ample space for your stance, making it really nice to be able to widen your stance as much as you might need to, or bring it close together as well. It's got 5 adjustable angles, so it's going to help you work your way up. You can start really low if you feel like you need to. You don't have to force it. And then you've got another 4 spaces to be able to move forward, improving your stretch on the slant board. It's also got this nice side handle for carrying around, and it's super sturdy. The wood slant board has a 400-pound capacity, so that is exactly how sturdy it is, and when you get this thing in your hands, you'll feel just how strong it is. So you're also going to get a nice bonus 5-foot resistance band here. This is going to be equivalent to about 25 pounds of resistance. So what I want to do, I want to share with you a few things that you can do to get started on your slant board right now. We're going to incorporate some resistance bands motions into it so that you can get a nice whole body stretch as well as strengthening routine. I also want you to make sure that you maintain nice, deep, proper breathing throughout the whole thing. We're going to talk about posture and breathing so that you get the most benefits that you can out of this slant board. So once you have your slant board set up, I've got mine on the lowest setting possible. The lowest setting means that it's not in any of the 4 notches in the slant board. And we're gonna go ahead and begin there, just because if you're just getting started, you really wanna feel this out. You just wanna step up, and you can do this with bare feet, but you've got nice friction going on here. So if you need some socks or shoes, it's totally fine. And what you can do is just sort of walk from the bottom of the slant board, pressing your heels into the floor, and sort of just walk your way up, feeling that slant. Test it out, and if you feel like you want a little bit more depth in your stretch or you're not feeling it as much, feel free to move it to the next level up. Go ahead and test that out again. And continue to move up through this testing based on the way that you feel. You want to find something where you feel a deep stretch, but it's not so uncomfortable that you can't focus on the actual movement. Once you find your place, grab your resistance band, and let's go ahead and begin. We're going to start by placing our feet just about in the center of the wood board, and we're just going to lift our toe, bringing the center of the resistance band right underneath our toes. So you're going to feel this nice stretch underneath your calves and maybe even some of your Achilles tendon. We've got the bands in our hands now, making sure they're nice and even. And you're holding this nice stretch here, rolling those shoulders back, breathing, and then you can focus on curling one hand at a time. Really focusing on having softness in the knees. We don't want to hyperextend the knees, okay? Keeping that core nice and tight. Nice deep breathing. If you want to, you can exhale as you curl. Do both at the same time if you want, or do alternating curls. We can go ahead and take this band and start lifting to the sides, both at a time or out in front, keeping that core nice and tight. Again, softness in the knees. Really just focusing on releasing those calves while we're moving gently in a nice controlled motion through all of these movements. Now the next thing I want to show you is some side-to-side obliques. We're just going to place this band in our hands here. Now if you need to, you can go ahead and pull it up in the center of your feet so that it's a little bit more loose in the center, and you've got a little more resistance on the sides. So basically you're stepping your bands a little bit closer to the handles as you do this. It can just be loose in the center. And as long as there's tension right here, and you can see my band's got nice tension, we're going to roll those shoulders back and down, keeping that core nice and tight, and just gently tilt to one side, breathing in nice and deep, making sure our back's nice and flat. So press your head back slightly, and then breathing to the other side, feeling the obliques or the sides of our abs working right here, and also making sure that our core is nice and engaged. Breathing in and out. Now if you want to, as you lean to one side, feel free to lift that toe so that you're pressing down into the opposite heel, leaning to the other side, lifting this other heel. So you're lifting the heel of the side that you're leaning towards, or kind of bending that knee. So that way you're really pushing away from the heel opposite of your stretch. Again, focusing on breathing nice and deep. Now let's go ahead and keep this nice close stance. We're going to gently bend at the waist a little bit, extend those legs so that you're feeling that stretch, but keeping those knees not locked. And just from one side here, we're gonna lift it, like pulling that elbow back, and then just gently extend the opposite heel of the lift. This is gonna deepen that stretch on that one side while keeping your core and your back engaged throughout the whole motion. So we're only lifting on this one side. Now we can relax, bend again, extend the opposite leg, and then lift through the other side, lifting that elbow, pressing the opposite heel down, keeping that core nice and tight. So what you're gonna feel is this nice engagement in the core and the back throughout the entire core of the spine, while your back of your leg here is getting nice relaxation and stretching. You should feel yourself sweat a little bit. Your heart rate might rise a little bit, but nothing should be uncomfortable. So breathing nice and deep, it's so important in this movement that your core is nice and tight. So that's it for the StrongTek Wood Slant Board. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, and I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching.